Being a dad for daughters is the greatest blessing and the worst curse. Go ahead and play this clip. It's real short from Stephen A. Smith.
Dad for daughters, it's the greatest blessing and the
The
worst
worst
curse.
curse.
Because the blessing is you didn't know what love is until you thought you knew what love was. And then they came along and now you know
Yeah,
what real
man.
love is. The curse is you didn't know what love is until they came along. So you're never at peace, you're always worried. You're worried about everything. You're worried about everything. Dad for daughters, being a dad for daughters, it's the greatest blessing and the
The
worst
worst
curse.
curse.
Because the blessing is you didn't know what love is until you thought you knew what love was. And then they came along and now you know
Yeah,
what real
man.
love is. The curse is you didn't know what love is until they came along. So you're never at peace, you're always worried. You're worried about everything. You're worried about everything.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. The main topic of the night, being a dad for daughters, is the greatest blessing and the worst curse. Go ahead and start with you first, Marcus. What are your thoughts?
Um, so like I think he couldn't be more right. The feeling you have when your kids when you see your child born is undescribable, right? It changes your perspective on reality, on life and death. It's undescribable, right? It's incredible. It's incredible. And if you weren't a man before that day, if you have any conscience about you, you will become a man after that. I remember being worried that I wasn't going to be able to be a good father for girls because I don't know, I wouldn't know how to relate to them. I wouldn't know how to instruct them. I was worried about karma. Actually, I was worried that some of the stuff, throughout my life with women was going to come back tenfold through my children, right? So on the curse side, I that worry is real. I still worry about that. I try and do everything I can to be the most active father possible, to do reason and rationale and critical think and discuss things with them and actually have dialogue so they can feel open and come and talk to me about stuff as they get older. They don't have to. All of that is an attempt for that worst curse to not hit me, right? Outside of the love I have for them. But I think you 100% right. Yo, all kids, but daughters in particular, right? You have a different relationship with them, and you just want the best for them. I'm kind of like at a loss of words when I think about it because I don't. There is no word that exists for me to describe how much I love my kids. The word love don't really describe it. So yeah, I'm at a loss for words when it comes to that. But it's a great blessing, but it is a worse curse because you got to worry about all the, like with a son, you only got to worry about his penis. With a daughter, you got to worry about all the rest of them that exist in the world, and that bothers me. My grandfather came and told me, he like, don't kill nobody behind your daughter. That's the first thing he said when I told him I was having a girl. Don't kill no, what he called me Weston. Don't kill nobody behind your daughter. Then I had another one. He was just like, well, you only got one life, so you better choose wisely. That's exactly what he told me. Yeah, but it could be a curse
That's
because
real.
That's real.
That's real, Marcus.
Hey, he funnier than that thing. I love my grandfather. Shout out to real. But yeah, no, it's definitely a gift and a curse because by loving something that much, you can also lose the thing you love that much, and that hurt. That's gonna hurt anybody. So I 100% agree with him.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Well, fortunately, I was blessed with a daughter and a son, so I could absolutely to them being very different experiences, right? Having a son is having a daughter is great, and it's very different because you just have a fear when you're talking about your right. My daughter's just became a teenager 2 months ago, so it's like there's so many things that you have to worry about, right? You are worried about her being someone's prey, right? You know, just her going out, just walking to school, you know of the dangers, right? And then me being a former scumbag, I also know about the dudes that she has to worry about, right? So we know what it is that we used to do to try to get with these women out here. So there's so many things you have to prepare her for this. You have to know, you have to tell her how these men are going to talk and the things that they're going to say and the things that they're going to do and how they're going to try to coax her into what it is that they want her to do. Right. And you understand that women are more emotional and you feel the need to protect them, but you don't want to smother them either. Right. You can't shelter them because that's the worst thing when you give them too much coverage, which I also am familiar with. I was pretty sheltered earlier, and then what happened when I turned 18, all of that tension built up like a rubber band, and then as soon as I turned 18 and they couldn't really stop me, it was like, phew, I'm in the world now, and I just started bugging, and took a very long time for me to stop. So it's a delicate balance, right? But it's the most scary thing. So I can see why they could say it's a curse. I would say it's more of a gift because I wouldn't trade it for anything. But it's just a very scary thought, knowing what you have to protect her from.
All right. Go ahead, Trigger Mike.
All right. One thing that I think comes to my mind, and especially in the Black community, we got to stop worshiping women and our daughters. If I say my daughter is my greatest blessing with my son standing right there, what did I just tell him? You know what I mean?
You the second greatest blessing.
We need to stop the look at the behavior. We are to blame for that shit. We are to blame. So let me start by saying children are a blessing, son or daughter. And you have a different way that you have an outlook for the lives of your son and your daughter. You believe and you worry different about your son and your daughter. For some reason, I spend almost no time, no mental capacity thinking about how my son is going to turn out. It's almost automatic that fathers will just create a version of themselves, right? I put my son through the gauntlet. He can't even do the same things his sister does. He gets a different type of punishment already because I understand how to make another version of me the way I'm sure my father knew how to make another version of himself. But it's my daughter that I'm worried about. How is another man going to come into her life and it affect decisions that she makes? It affects the way she submits and sees the world. So yes, that is where it is your greatest curse. Because I don't think my wife fully understands, and I don't think she actually needs to. That's what I'm here for. I worry that it's when they say greatest curse, I realize that if we don't teach our daughters to be virtuous women who are attractive to competent men that can facilitate dreams, those women may become a burden to us in old age. I don't know if y'all watch my show, but Payne, our Payne has 2 daughters and he's in his 60s. And he's saying out of his own mouth, damn, who's going to take care of them when I'm not here since they're not married? Right? So you have to think about that. It's going to weigh on you very hard.